Assalamualaikum and hello from Drupal. I'm Azmat Shah and we are into the second day of Drupal site building in ddcp. The topics we will be covering today are Devel Module. It's a very handy module. During development it has a lot of advantages and we will be using it. Then we will continue with block types from the first lecture and also the view modes we discussed briefly in the first lecture. Then we'll move on and create comments and comment types. We will also deal with file management and media management, and I'll also show you how Drupal saves the images it uploads to its database. We'll also study menus and excuse me. We'll also study menus, primary and secondary menus. Then we will move on to image styles and date formats. Image styles are for image thumbnailing in Drupal. It's a very powerful system, and also you can have customized date formats which can be used throughout the site. And yesterday we talked about content entities. Today we will also briefly discuss configuration entities and how to import and export configurations in Drupal. Also we will dive further into URL aliases and also use a module called PATHAUTO to generate URLs, automatic URLs in Drupal. And layout builder is a module to encode Drupal code to layout pages and structure content from the design aspect in Drupal. So we will be delving into it as well. And then we will create a system through view modes so that each node which is being added to the site can have different layouts. And at the end we will touch text formats and editors also. So there is a lot to learn. Let's dive in. Okay, so I will start with installing a module in Drupal which is very handy uh, during development phase of your project. So it's called Devel Drupal, sorry, this one, and maybe the latest one. Intuitive, and then composer install. Okay, so if we come to extend now, Devel, so let us enable both of these. There are modules, when you install them they provide default blocks also. So for example, if I go to the block layout, and you may remember where the block layout is from the first lecture. So on the right, maybe, or on the left, on the right sidebar, I want to place a block and it will be called switch user. So this, even the category shows the module which provided you this block. So switch user block is where is the one I want to use in the right sidebar, and save. Region is this, save. By the way, even if you have in a region, this is called region. In a region, if you have 3 separate blocks and you want to, the one you want to move to the top, so you can do this and save. So if I go to the home page now, so there is this switch user block. So rather than logging out all the time and logging in with a different user, maybe you are testing permissions or roles of a user, so you can quickly just, for example, if I click on Afaq, so I will log in as Afaq, right? So that's the purpose of this switch user block. But before using this, for example, if I click on Afaq, this block will disappear because there is a permission which we need to set. And if I go to people permissions and just search for switch user, this one, so I want to give it to the access of it to anonymous user also, so that those users who are not logged in, they should also be able to use the switch user block. Otherwise, if I log out, and I won't be able to see this block. So save. Now if I go back to site and if I switch as AFAC, so now I am logged in as AFAC.
Yes.
Okay, so if I have to test something, I can quickly switch between the user. For example, if I log in as Shahab, so now I am logged in as Shahab. So this is what the Devel module gave us. And similarly, there are other handy tools also. Now I want to log in back as admin. So rather than going to the login screen, giving the usernames and passwords, what I can do is I will just click on it. Got it? Okay, so this was the first thing. Now, for example, if yesterday we created a content type that was student, right? So if I go to the content tab and search for student, so right now we have just two records for students, but I want to create some 50 records for students so that I can test them, right? So what I can do is I will go to Devel again. So rather than adding content myself for practice, or maybe I need it for some views and something like this, so I will go to I'll go to the Devel section, and here the generate command, and then we have generate content. So which content I want to create? Student. So how many records? 50.
Zoom it a little.
Okay, 50 records, and maybe the dates are 1 week ago. Titles, maybe we don't need, we need 2 words in the title, and let all of them be from the user admin. Okay, so that we can know, or maybe some from Afaq also and some from Shahab also, and which so the user should be authenticated. That's it. So I will generate. So it has created 48 nodes. Maybe that setting didn't take effect. So if I go to this one now you can see different users have been created for pet. So maybe if I click on this one, so this is this user, and even some random department has been assigned to it, and the address is this, and some image maybe. So this is very good for adding dummy content to your site. Is this clear?
Yes,
so the two things we did from Devel, and these are the mostly the two things you will need: switch user during development and generating some content. Okay, so yesterday we touched blocks, and if you go to the structure block types, so right now we have 2 types of blocks. One is basic block, which is by default, and then there is the image block, right? Now I want to create maybe a block where I want to show my favorite students, just for the demo how powerful this can be. So I need to show, and by the way I have opened a document so that all the database skills you have so far are revised also. Where is that document? This one. Okay, so for example I have users in a table and students, right? And I want to have a table for my favorite students, or just the favorite students. So this is the students, and this is my favorite students. So how can I make a list of my favorite students in a custom database? That's my question. The students, we have a students table,
Yes, sir.
and now I want to have a table of favorite students. So how can I do it?
Sir, creating a favorite student, and then pass an ID of student.
Of student. So for example, I will create another table, favorite students, right? So should I enter the student again, or should it have just the ID?
ID, only ID.
Just the ID, right? So for example, 5, 8, 11, this is what I want. In this table only this will be saved,
Yes, sir.
and then we can query and join, make joins and all, right?
Yes, sir.
So we already have the students table in the form of student content
Yes,
type,
sir.
right? Now we need to have favorite students table.
Yes, sir.
Remember this concept, right? So I will create a block type and I will call it favorite students, right? And save and manage fields. By default, the body is created with the block type you create, but we don't need it. We'll delete it. Now, which type of field you think we should have here?
Reference field.
Good,
Yes, sir.
very good. Create a new field,
Yes, sir.
and it will be of type
Reference. Yes, sir. To create a joint front end.
So the field name should be select student or whatever. Which
Content.
the first
Yes,
one,
sir.
because student content type is there.
Yes.
So which of the content you want to refer?
Student.
The student.
Yes, sir.
And save settings, right? Now we have just one field in the block, which will be, and by the way, I want it to be not limited to one. I want the students which I can choose to be unlimited, right?
Yes.
Okay, one other question as well. For example, I want to have different such favorite students per date. How can I have them in the table? Here.
Create a new field of date.
So we should have one more field column in this table,
Yes, sir.
which should be date.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so for example, not here rather. Yes, we should have a date column also.
Yes, sir.
A repeatable date column. But we can even improve it better, and that is we can have another table with just the date field and the reference to
Favorite student.
students, but we will manage it. So we can also create a new field, and it will be which one? Date and time.
Date and time.
And I will just name it date and time, not time, just date, probably, and save. Okay, so we have now two fields in this block type, right? The next step is to create a block, and I want to show a block maybe in the footer here, somewhere here,
Yes.
favorite students, right? Dated this, maybe dated this. So we'll go to, where should we go to? Content, blocks. Now we have a third type of block also, add content block and favorite students.
Yes, sir.
So the description will be favorite student, just call it today maybe, or what's the date today?
26.
Feb. This is the title, so that it is known in the admin screen. So here now, if I just click something, it will show me the students, and this is coming from the dummy content also, which we added, right? So we'll just be selecting students, and they will be added here.
Yes, sir.
So maybe these four are okay for now, and then the date 26 is fine. Clear? And save and configure will let us add this to the
Which region?
region also. So maybe we can choose a
Photo.
footer, bottom, and save. right? If I go back to the site and come down to the footer section, so we have favorite students, all of these.
Yes. Date also.
Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
So how to display them now in the, what are your guesses? How have these been added to the database table?
So the IDs are getting inserted into the
Exactly.
database.
So let me show you how. If you go to the PHP admin, db, okay, so each entity tables are prefixed with the name of the entity. So block content, it has the new field we created. The new field is select student, this one.
Yes.
So this is that junction table it creates. Okay, so if you click on it, so it has 4 entries, you can see. And the bundle is, as I said, the subtype is known as bundle. So the block subtype type is favorite students.
Yes, sir.
Entity ID is 444. Why is it 4? It means the block ID is 4, and the target ID are these. It will always have target underscore ID at the end. So 7, 10, 13, 26. What are these? These are the node IDs, the student IDs actually. So 444 and these. That's that junction table. And even for the ordering, there is a delta field,
Yes.
so you can order it as well. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So by default, the titles are shown here. Okay. If I want to show the date field also with it, any guess how can I do it? It will be, rather it is
Yes, sir.
shown here.
Yes.
Okay. So this is known as rendered entity format. Rendered entity format, or formatter, as I said, means that the whole entity is rendered. But what if I want to this is the block whole entity, right? But I want to show Jawad's picture also. Maybe we don't have any image field,
Yes, sir.
so leave it for now. But Jawad, as well as his department and father name with the favorite department, father name, and date of birth, all of these 3 fields I want to show with the name. So any guesses how can I do it? Right now just the title is being shown. For example, Jawad, his father name, date of birth, that should also be visible here. But right now just the name is visible. Any idea?
Manage display, and we can add.
Okay, so let's do it.
We can enable.
Basically, I want you to be natural Drupal site builders and developers. So you should know all these things once you practice. So if I go to block types, and this is the relevant favorite students block type. If I go to manage display, right now if I hide the labels, select student and date, these are the 2 separate fields, and save. So the formatter for the select student right now is label. So every entity has a label in Drupal. Label means either title or name or whatever.
Yes, sir.
The title field or name field, right? So by default it is label. If I go to the site in a separate tab, by the way, all of these are visible on the front page. Okay, so this is just the label, that's why it is showing us the label. That's why it is visible. But if I select rendered entity, now you can check the power of view modes, how powerful view modes can be. So if I excuse me, if I select rendered entity and rendered as default or any other view mode, got it?
Yes.
So right now the default is being selected for us, the full content and so on. What if we quickly create a new view mode? So how can I do it? I will leave this screen here. I will go to structure
Yes, sir.
and
Display mode.
display modes, where it is.
Yes, sir. After the content.
Okay, and view modes,
Yes.
view mode for content, right? So I can quickly add one for the content, and I will name it student footer, maybe, or some reusable name you can give, student additional, or maybe student dob, father name, and what else was it we wanted to address. Address is a huge field. These two are good. Okay, so I want to show the student dob and father name.
Yes.
Just these two with the title. So for which entity type?
Student.
Content type student, and save. Okay, so now what's the next step? Where should we make the change? In the block manage display or the student manage display?
Student.
Good. These are very tricky concepts. You will get confused initially, but once you are well into Drupal, so I will go to content types,
Yes, sir.
and then I will go to student manage display.
Yes.
It has now this student dob father name
Yes.
manage display, right? And it has all the fields coming. So what I will do is I will just hide everything else and leave just the dob and father name.
Yes, sir.
So I will hide address. Once you hide them, they go to the disabled region. And domicile hidden, social media profiles hidden, and dob will be this, father name is this, and maybe I don't need any links if there are any also, and save. Okay, this is the label. I can quickly drag them here, and then social media, domicile, father name, department. So how many fields are left now? 3. Maybe we need to hide the domicile also, and save. Okay, so now just the father name, the and dob will be visible. So what this, if you remember, we now need to go back to the block types, favorite students, manage display, and this one was chosen, the field type select student, and it is by default for label.
Yes.
But we will change it to rendered entity. So rendered entity format lets you choose which view mode.
Yes, sir.
So now this is the student entity reference field, so it will it has the formatter of rendered entity, and I will choose. Now this is that power of Drupal. Wherever you need the format of a field, this new view mode will be available.
Yes, sir.
This will be reusable everywhere. So I will just choose this and update and save. Now if I go to the bottom of the, so 5 students were there, if you remember.
Yes, sir.
So all of them, where it is, this one, father name dob,
Yes, sir.
father name dob, father name dob, and the name is also this is just styling issue.
Yes.
Is this clear? Name, father name, and dob. So this gives a lot of power to site builders in Drupal. You can create an entity reference field, and then the display can be different. It can be just the labels, the IDs, or some view mode also. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
One thing, by default, if you add some content, so it is promoted to the front page. All of this page is a healthy one now, because all of the dummy content we created,
Yes, sir. Was very good.
it has been promoted to the front page. So what we can do is we can go to the content section and maybe check all, and the action is remove content from
Home screen.
front page. You can choose it and apply selected items, and all the 50 items have been. So if I go back to the home page now, there are just those 3 articles, right? And if you want to do it directly in the database, so what you can do is, if you go to the node table because that was related to the node field data table node this one.
Yes.
So it has promote value, right? This is a column. So you can just change the value to 0 and all of the articles will then
Yes, sir.
be not available on the home page. This is clear? Okay, so my point actually is you should heavily use the concept of view modes in Drupal to have different fields display, or even in code once you are theming Drupal you can have if conditions on view modes, and you can style uh, the records differently based on the view mode. Just as an example, if for example you want to show some record in 2 column layouts, so you can have an image on the right side and text on the left side. So this will be one view mode. Then you can have an image on the left side and text on the right side. So this can be the second view mode, and so on. And you can just choose while adding content or editing content, and the layout will change. Okay. What else we need to study? So I'll go to structures, maybe here. Block layouts. We touched block types, so you can create unlimited number of block types and use them in your block layouts. Okay, creating comments. So just like nodes and other entity types, content entity types, comment also is a entity type, content entity type, right?
Yes.
Comment. So if you go to maybe the student, let us do it via this for the student. So if you go to the content type students, this one, manage fields, we have so far address, department, DOB, domicile, father name, and this. And if I go to any of them, this is the which page it is called in Drupal? Entity page or node page?
Yes.
Because I clicked on the individual record and the path is node /
Yes.
2323, right? So I want to have a block, a comment form at the bottom, so that maybe somebody can give some response about a student, whether he's, and he should have his name, maybe father name, the one who wants to give the comment, add the comment, right?
Yes.
So right now there is no comment available on the student page. We want to have this functionality. If you go to the article content type, any article, so by default when Drupal was installed, if I click on this, so there is a comment form which is subject and comment. But for students I want to have name, subject and comment, and something else maybe.
Yes.
Okay, so that's the power of Drupal. It makes the comment form also fieldable because of the fieldable entity type.
Yes.
So right now we go to structure, comment types. So by default this is the one which is in use by the article content type. So if I go to manage display, so it has just the comment and the subject comes by default.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Like title.
But now we will create a new type, and that will be student comment type, right? This is just a new type. Target entity should be which? Should be content, where this type should be used, and save and manage fields, right? So by default the body is there, subject will also be there, and we will add one more text field, maybe father name, text plain, and also we need to have another one for phone number. So the person who is commenting should have his phone number also with us. So these are two extra fields now. Right? Comment comes by default, father name and phone number. Okay, if we go to the how to enable it on the student content type now. So we will go to content types.
Manage display.
Because we are going to add a new field, so first it will be manage fields. So create new field and it will be comments, this one,
Comments.
and the maybe we can call it comments. Okay, so which comment type? Right now this one is
Student comment
type, and these are the settings. This is actually different than entity reference. We can do that, but it has added functionality, that's why it's a separate type of field. Okay, so how many comments per page you want to show? Maybe 50, and all of these. Default value, comments should be open or not, so we want to enable comments on this and save. Right, so this field has been added, the comments one, this one. So what are you now expecting? If I go to a student, for example this one, so at the bottom of the page there will be this comment section. Maybe we need to just move this in the, so where will it be moved?
Sir, manage form display.
Yeah, manage form display of
Student entity type.
anybody else?
Student content types.
Which entity type is this comment form?
No, comment type.
Comment. This is what I want to hear from you. Your Drupal site building skills should be so sharp that if I ask you, these really get confusing at times. But if you have your concept right, for example, this form now belongs to the comments entity type, though it is being referred in the student entity type, content type, but it belongs to. So we will go to the manage form display of the comments.
Type, yes.
So comment types,
Yes.
and then this is this one, and we'll go to the manage form display, and here we need to move a few things. Subject, comments body, this manage form display. Okay, so what was the unneeded one?
HTML tag.
Let me go back to the text format. Okay, and this is for the, actually this comment should be on the bottom.
Yes, sir.
So in the manage form display, for the, let us go back to comment types, then manage form display, and I will move the comment to the bottom of the screen and save. If we refresh it now, so now we can add some comments also. Great. And comment is, I was class fellow of this is whatever, and save. So the comment has been added, and this is great. If you go to content, and there is a comments tab also, and one comment has been added, and by default this is published, but normally you keep the comments unpublished here, and if a user approves it, then it becomes in the published state, right? But we have just published it. So you can set up different fields in comment, just like content types or block types. You can create different types of comments, and the rule you should follow, when should we have a separate bundle or type? Yesterday I told you, Afaq.
What's that?
When should we have a separate bundle or entity type?
when we don't have the.
Sir, if we have more than one requirement, or
So for example, if I
If we need more fields.
exactly, if you need more fields or different fields. So by default, if you remember, comment types, we already have a comment type for default comments, but the fields were limited. Now we needed extra fields. That's the only thing which differentiates a bundle or content type from the other. So if you ever need extra fields or reduce the number of fields or totally different fields you need, so in that case you will have to create a new bundle or entity content sub entity type, right? Okay, what else we need to study? I will go. It's easy to go through the menu tabs and then a topic appears in my mind, which we can then continue with. So block types, comment types, these have been covered. Display modes also. Okay, one very important concept, and that is media types. So let us study media now. If you go to the article content type which Drupal installs with, if I add an article, so the title, body, and there is a, where is that field? I think we have removed it.
department,
No, the image field.
so I think you have disabled it.
Okay, so if we go to structure,
Yes, sir.
content types, manage fields,
Yes.
I think we don't. Yes, we have. So how to know if a field is disabled? We'll go to the form display,
Yes.
and you can see that the image is disabled and save. So now if I go to add article, there is going to be this image field. Okay. So how Drupal saves images or files? This is what we are going to study now. This is very crucial, especially if you are importing content, or this is known as migration from other sources to Drupal. You should know how Drupal saves uploads files or images. Okay. So I'll go here. I'll create a table. Insert table, where it is. File managed table, something like this. We'll now check it. So that's the table, FID and file name, and maybe ME type. If I add another one, how to add another column now?
Left click, right click, add row or add column.
Okay, MIME type, for example. Just this is a dummy table. So once Drupal uploads a file or image, it saves its record in this files table, file manage table it is called. So for example, one number file is maybe abc.jpg, for example. So this type will be image slash jpeg, right? And similarly the two number will be something else, maybe it's a PDF, so def.pdf, so the type will be PDF for application data, whatever it is. Okay, so once you upload a file, it gets saved in the file manage table, FID. But how are they then related to, for example, if I am adding an article now, add article test 1, and this is body, and I will just upload a file now. Okay, should be a valid number. Which one? Okay, I have added this article, but this image is related. I mean, I'm on the node page now, node 57, and this image is known. So if an image has been uploaded to this table, this is my now question. If an image has been uploaded to this table, how does it relate with the article we have submitted? Anyone?
Article ID.
Yeah, but where will it be saved?
In the file table.
Not file table, because there can be many. It also needs a junction table.
Yes,
Okay, so another table, junction table, I will call it. So it will have FID and AID. AID is article ID. So for example, 2 number is with 57. This shows that this image is, and even if there is, it is multiple images, it will be 3 number FID is also with 57.
yes, sir.
So how does this will actually show that these 2 images belong to
This article.
One article.
one article, right? And that's how it saves it. So if I go to database, and it is node table, right? So the node based images will be, sorry, mn node field underscore image is the name of the node. Sorry, it is node underscore field underscore image, this one. If I open it, this is just the image field which we have created on the article content type.
Yes, sir.
So if we open it, it has all these fields,
Yes, sir.
and one of them is target ID, field underscore image underscore target ID.
Yes, sir.
So this target ID is which ID?
Article.
This is the, no, the article ID is this entity ID,
Yes, sir.
57. This is that 57.
Hmm.
So I will leave this table here. This target ID is the FID of the
Yes, sir. FID.
the file ID.
Yes, sir.
So here that file manage table exists. This is the file manage table. If you go here, so it has FID column, and the fourth one is
Yes.
this image is 1.jpg which we have uploaded. Its path, everything is metadata is with it, and this 4 is being referred there.
Yes, sir.
So that this table actually serves as the junction table we mentioned here. This is that junction table actually. So any image field you create, it creates any field rather, it creates a junction table. The original file is saved in the FID, the file manage table, this one. File manage table is this one. So the file is saved here, but here you then need to link them, that's it.
Yes, sir.
So then Drupal knows that this file belongs to this article.
Yes, sir.
So for example, I make the field multiple now. Right now we can add one. If I go to content types, article, manage fields, and this is edit. Right now it lets me add just one. If I make it unlimited, now I can upload more than one images with the article. And if I go to this test one article again, if I edit it, and let me add a few more now, because there is now extra field,
Yes, sir.
maybe this one and another one also, this one. So three images have been uploaded with article 57 now,
57, yes.
and save. So in the, this is the file manage table. How many extra entries will be here? Two.
Two.
In the file manage there will be 2, because this one already has been uploaded.
Yes, sir.
So if I browse it, so it has these 2 entries, 5 and 6.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the files have been saved here. Now if I go to the junction table, which is the file image file table,
It will have
if I browse it, what changes you will see?
two more entries.
2 more entries, and with 5 and 6 in the target ID here.
Yes, sir.
So it will be 5 and 6, 5 and 6 and 57.
Okay.
This means 5 7 5 7. This is the article ID,
Yes, sir.
and it has got these 3 fields.
File ID.
And if you want to change the order of the field,
Delta.
so this is that delta.
Yes, sir.
This is a very important concept. Normally, for example, if you have 5 images in an article and client asks you to show me the 4th one on the top, for example. So what will you do? You will reorder it, and that reordering will affect this delta column in the database. Is this clear? So this is normally the raw image format, image upload system in Drupal, which comes in Drupal core. Also, the new system also is now is in Drupal core, but it is not enabled by default. So if we go to the I think we did enable it yesterday, the media, because we do have media types here.
Yes, sir.
But if I go to the extend again, so once you install Drupal and if I search media, these two are not enabled by default. Yesterday we enabled them.
Yes, sir.
And image is basically the normal older way of doing stuff in Drupal. So these two brings even further power to
Next
the
one.
Drupal
Yes, sir.
media management, the media library module and the media core module. So maybe with the basic page we can create a separate. So media actually is an entity itself. If you go to
Yes, sir.
structure and media types, you have a setting here, media types. So by default there are these 5 types of media: audio, document, image, remote, and this. If you have understood what bundles are, so these are actually the media entity types bundles. Okay, so bundles have different fields.
Yes, sir.
So I will go to the image one. So if I did it, this is basically a bundle. It has extra fields and it has an image field. You should understand this concept. For example, this is a bundle and it has fields. I can add even extra fields here.
Yes, sir.
Image, whatever, just like content types. You can create extra fields here, but right now it has just one field. Is this clear? So maybe in the basic page content type, where is content types? This is the basic page. If you come to manage fields, it has just this. Now I want to create a new field, but not of the normal image type. I will create it as a media field. So if I go to create new field,
Media.
and here will be the media one, this one.
Media.
Okay, it can be even the reference field, but we have to use the media field now because it will add extra stuff. Continue, and I will call it maybe I want to add different stuff with it, PDF documents and images also. Okay, so we'll call it images and docs, or maybe just images for now, but I will name it like this, right? Continue. So the type to reference is media,
Yes, sir.
and which type? I'll make it document
And image.
and image and save. So now this field has been added. Now if I want to add some content, so I will go to content, add content, student,
Basic
sorry,
page.
basic page, and it has the this. So I will add article and images related to
Media.
maybe some technology AI. Okay, so add media. So you can see there are now 2 tabs. One is for document,
Yes, sir.
one is for image, and both of them will be saved. Add file and this. So if I for the document I can choose, maybe we have some PDF document somewhere. Type is okay. This is good. We are lucky enough to config schema sheet and save it and insert selected. It has let me add just one thing. Why? Anybody? Any guesses?
Limited, sir.
Exactly, because the field type is
Limited.
limited. So we will just go to
Media structure. Media type.
content types, basic page, manage fields,
Yes, sir.
edit it, and we'll choose unlimited
Yes, sir.
and save. Now I'll go back to add content, basic page and maybe article about what was it,
Article
AI related images and docs for example, right? And add media, so we'll choose that file again, insert, selected. Also add media button appears again,
Yes.
and now we can upload the image also. So maybe this one, this is some image, right? And save it, insert. So two things have been now uploaded, one is a PDF and one is the image, and save. So this is linked to the PDF and this is now. So what, how would have been added to the Drupal site, where first?
in the node file table, and then the file table also.
But now we have the media entity also.
Yes, sir.
It is now a three-way thing. Let me just demo it. So if I refresh, this is the file manage table, right? If I refresh it, so two files have been added. This is that PDF file, and even in the file MIME type is application/PDF, and the image is this. So these two entries with FID 9 and 10, these are the two files which have been uploaded. That's it. So that's the first role Drupal plays once you try to upload something.
Yes.
Now we'll go stepwise so that you know. The next step is, because all of these skills will come handy in your careers, that's why we are stressing on this. So the next is, if you go to the media types, and as I said, we have this image and document. These are two which we referred there.
Yes, sir.
So in the image, if I go and choose manage display, manage field, sorry, so there is this field underscore image, on which bundle it is, image bundle.
Yes.
Okay, so where will be this location in the database? Please tell me the location of this table.
In the
Hmm?
media.
It will be in the media image field, just like we go to the node.
Yes, sir.
So here, if we go to the DB and we are inside the media, this is the media, and media field underscore image is the name, this one, field media image.
Yes, sir.
If I open it, so it has three images, because previously we also had added something, but the target type, this is that FID, the
Yes, sir.
10 number is this,
Image ID, yes.
this is the file
Image.
manage table. So this is this, but what does this entity ID 5 mean? This is not node ID, this is 5. So what does this mean? This is the media ID, this is the media entity ID.
Yes.
This is very complex and powerful system. If I go to the media table, and even if I open it in a separate tab, I'll go to the media. This is the media table. So this is the 5th number record. The bundle is 5, and that image is associated with this entry, media entry,
Yes, sir.
not with the basic page. So now my question is, how does basic page know that this image belongs to it?
That will be the node field data. Node.
So if I come to,
The junction table.
so if I come to content types, basic page, and this is the field for on the which this is the field on content basic page
Yes, sir.
entity. So if I, so how can I check this now?
Inside the database.
Yes, so where will this table be?
Inside the field.
Media or node? We are on the basic page.
Node, sir.
Node.
Yes, sir. Node media.
It is confusing, I know, but it will make sense once we do it. So if I come to the node section, mn, and node has this field of this one, not the revision, but this is node field images and docs.
Docs, yes, sir.
So if you open it, that entity type bundle is page, means
sir.
basic page.
Yes,
The
sir.
entity ID is 58. This is node ID.
Yes, sir.
So what should be a target ID?
Target ID.
4 and 5. What are they? Now this is my question.
These are the media ID.
Great.
Yes, sir.
This is the media entity IDs.
Yes, sir. Media entity
4 and
ID,
5
yes,
are the
sir.
media entity
Yes,
IDs.
sir.
And in the media entity IDs, the main original file managed tab IDs are
Yes, sir.
matched.
Okay, so they are coming from that table.
Exactly. So if we go to the media table, this is
Yes, sir. 4 and 5. Yes, sir.
this is media. So 4 and 5, these are being related to these two media entities, right? And then if I go to the file, this was the where it was. Yes, this is that field media. So entity ID 5 is the media ID,
Yes, sir.
and 10 is the
Yes, sir. The file ID.
file ID. If I create a custom query, so maybe that will help you. Do you have any memories from the joins you used to create?
Yes, sir.
Hmm?
Yes, sir.
So if I go to maybe directly to some table, and I will start with the file manage, this one. So I want this image, for example, this 10 number image. So select all, SQL, select all from where, or maybe just the file name. Name from this, left join, which table? The media table. So it will be the media,
Field media.
media dot underscore field image, this table on media. Remember the consa table, consa.
Yes, sir.
So dot
Dot.
entity ID equals
Yes, sir.
file manage
File manage dot.
dot FID. No, not the entity ID, but we will have it as target something. Media dot target ID. That's it.
Yes, sir.
So we'll select the file name from file manage, the first table where the files are saved. Let's join this the media image field, but the columns where the join should be will be target ID on the media image field
Yes.
table with the this. So if I go, so these are all the images.
Yes, sir.
And if I also show the, where is quick edit, inline edit, okay.
Yes.
If I also show the media field underscore media image comma media, we should have created aliases, but this is media underscore image dot entity ID. So which what would it mean? We'll name it that media ID and go. So the 5 and 1 2 are related to the media
Yes, sir.
media entity. Others are null because they were uploaded by. Now the next step is how to reach to the main node ID.
Oh, node ID, sir.
Hmm?
You
Yes.
can make another join.
Yeah, another join to which table?
Yes, sir. The node.
So left join this
Node, feed media.
and then another left join, right? After
Yes,
the
sir. This equal space. Yes, sir.
so left join
Yes, sir.
node underscore
Capital.
image and docs, this one
Yes, sir.
dot. On which column we should join it?
Entity ID
Hmm, target
or
ID.
target ID.
Target ID is the media target
Yes,
ID
sir.
equals the media ID, media entity ID.
Yes, sir.
So it is going to be media, this ID actually. Media dot entity ID. Go.
On, sir.
On is missing.
Yes, left join. Sir, after that, sir, left join on this table. Left join
Thank you.
and add a table name here also.
Join
Node
on.
field docs
Yes.
before the node.
Thank
sir.
you.
No, here before the on.
Let's join on this.
Control
Oh
X.
yes. Now join this on.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully it will be okay now. Yes. Okay, so
Now
how can I select the
Yes, sir, sir.
ID also? So
Yes,
it
sir.
will be comma
Yes, sir.
mm,
Node image docs ID.
node underscore image
One underscore.
join node underscore field
The third one there is.
underscore images docs, this one,
Yes,
right?
sir, dot.
Dot entity ID as node ID. Okay, even fetching maybe for once or two times you can create queries like this in the PHP admin interface so that you can know what all these entity IDs and how are they linked. So if you go, so the 58 number is only the one where this fifth is available image.
Yes, sir.
So if we go to node slash 58 in Drupal, what do you think will be there? Node slash 58.
Small font.
So this is that image,
Yes, sir.
and it actually is, where is it now? Its media ID is 5.
Yes,
So
sir.
node is referencing the media entity 5, which in turn references the file name this, and the node ID is this.
Yes, sir.
So this is actually divided into 3 separate tables, the media system.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully this is clear, and still if it is not clear, you should know that if we are using the native field, image field or upload field in Drupal, so this middle one is skipped. Directly node is related to the file name. But if we are using the media system, then the media entity also comes into play. And by the way, you should use media, not the normal image fields in Drupal, okay? just like I created entity reference to the media field entity, so you should be using media rather than the normal image fields. Okay, on to the next topics. So again, as I said, I will go through some of the menu tabs, and if I see something which we haven't yet studied, we'll move on to them. So let's start menus. So we already have touched menus, some menus, but we will move on with. So what is a menu normally? Bilal, what is a menu?
The header and links.
So a link to the specific page or some specific block of area to the code.
Navigation.
Yes, navigation, but actually what is a menu? Okay, what is difference between a menu and a menu link?
A menu is a container that consists all the links.
Exactly. So menu is a wrapper around different links. That's the main difference. A menu is a container where multiple menu links reside. Okay, so by default, once Drupal installed, we have all these menus, not menu links. Don't confuse them. Okay, these are menus. Menus means container or wrapper for links. But for example, I need to have a link, a menu in the footer. Okay, and it will have separate. For if I go to maybe some website cnn.com, in the footer you can see there are these 4 or 5 or 6 different types of containers where links reside. So for example, if I have to create something like this in the footer, which is different than the menu at the top, so what your natural thought should be, you will have to create a separate menu and name it, for example, footer menu. Okay, so footer menu has been created now, and then we will add links into it. So menu is container and links are individual ones. So for example, maybe about CNN, and the link should be node/2 or whatever. These are just dummy links for now. So this is one link, and add link vision. One thing there, these can have just links, no content, but you can link content from with the link directly also from node screens, but here we are just creating links. So node/3. So now this menu has 2 links, and if I go to the menu screen now we have an extra menu also, footer. If you want to add extra links, so where will you have to go to this footer menu?
Yes, sir.
Now you have learned enough Drupal. Where will this footer menu is, so that I can add it to the footer region, and what should it have behind the scenes created for us. This is just menu here. I cannot use it right now. How can I now start using it?
Place the blocks
Yes, so
in a block region, sir.
yes, but it means it has created a block for us.
Yes, sir.
If you add a new menu, it will create a block for you, and then you can add links into it. So where that block will be, it can be placed from the block layout here. And if I go to the footer region, maybe the footer top, place block, and menu, footer menu, and the category is menus, means it has been created by the menus module.
Yes, sir.
So place block. So what a new menu does, it creates a block for you.
Yes, sir.
If I go now to the footer region, this is that menu.
Yes, sir.
Okay, one thing, each block has an administrative title, so that you can know them from the block layout
Yes, sir.
screen. But if you don't want to display the title, or maybe the title is something else, like the name is footer menu by default, if I configure it, so you can display title or otherwise. And even if you want to change it to some other name, so actual name will be different, but the title will be then
Yes, sir.
this some other name, and you can even disable the title. So if I save it, Now the menu will have no title. Got it?
Yes.
So that was all about the menus. And you can have unlimited number of menus, and if you create a menu, it will create a block for you. That's it. Okay, one more thing. This is known as the main navigation in Drupal, right? Basically, it has been styled in CSS like this, but where does now, for example, I create a link. Let me just, and this is very powerful feature, and you should note it very attentively. Let me first give you an example. Okay, I will create a new page, maybe just a block. If I go to the menus, and this is the main navigation, right? So we can have some links, dummy links also, but I will create a about page now, about, and the menu will be main menu and about. This is the about, right? Save. This is really teasing us now, the field we created for color. Okay, so we have created the about page, and if you go to the menu at the top, this is a teaser. Okay, so we have the about link also. This is, now I want to move vision and mission under about. What I will do?
So
Good.
go to the
So we can directly
the
go.
structure.
We can directly also go to the menu from here, configure, edit menu. Sorry.
Add it
Yeah.
to the nested child.
Yeah. So we'll go move these two under the about and save. Now if you go to the site, so about has these two
Yes.
items. Clear? Okay. Normally in university websites you might have seen something. Let me just check if there is something. Oxford University, and if I click on any of the links, maybe Oxford people, for example. Okay, so I clicked on people, and here to the right there are these links, and you can see this is selected, the Oxford people is selected, and to the right the links which are inside this are to the right also. It is normally for documentation, or maybe you have got to read a lot of stuff, so you will go to the top menu here, click on it. So then on the right you won't have to go again to that menu link,
Yes, sir.
and on the right you will have these links like these. So these are sub menu links to the right of a article. You got it? So we want to achieve something like this. For example, if I click on the about section, on the right here vision and mission should be here, and then I won't have to go to the top. I will just click on the links here and they will be showing. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So for that, what are your guesses? Be a natural developer. This is what I want. Drupal developer.
We have to create.
You need to have a block here.
Block for that, yes, sir.
Yeah.
And place it inside the sidebar, yes, sir.
Yeah, good. So what we can do is, that's the power of the menu system in Drupal. We go to the block layout, and in the sidebar, where is sidebar section? This one. I will place a block, and that will be the navigation, main navigation. We already have at the top, but now this is the second one we want to add.
Yes, sir.
You can add one block more than one time. So I will add this to the right, and here is the trick, the menu levels. So menu level is, the menu is only visible if the menu link for the current page is at the level or below it. use 1 to always display this menu. It means if you want to always display the main navigation on the right side also, then we can leave it as it is, but we will make it 2. What does this mean? If for example the about is clicked,
Yes, sir.
so the sub should be only shown, otherwise not. Anyone, you can expand all the menu links. And where do you want to show it? In the region sidebar.
Sidebar, yes,
And
sir.
save block and save. So if I go back to the site on the home page, as we are on the root of the menu items, so that sidebar maybe okay, it is still there. Are we on the about section? If I go to home, let me just change this order so that the menu is at the top. How can I move the menu to the
Drag and
top?
drop, yes.
Like this and save. So now the link, the menu is at the top, right? But if I go to the home page, that menu disappears.
Yes.
Why? Because about was not clicked.
Yes, sir.
But if I click on the about now, so you can see the menu is here, vision.
Yes,
So
sir.
here I will just click on vision or mission, whatever.
Yes, sir.
So you can assume, for example, I click a department here,
Yes, sir.
and department has maybe 100 links within it. So if I click, for example, this is a department, computer science. If I click it, on the right there will be only the links about computer science,
Yes.
and you will be visually, you will be feeling as if you are within a subsection of a website.
Yes.
So this used to be called as secondary menu in previous versions of Drupal, but now it is so easy doing it in the latest versions of Drupal. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
So we have touched the menu system also. Now let us check other things.
Views.
Okay, the contact us forms. So by default, Drupal has this form. For example, if I go to the site name / contact, I think that's the path, website feedback form. So it has subject contact us form, right? If I need to create a link so that if somebody clicks on it, they should appear, or they should be on this page. So how can I do it?
Create a menu link.
Menu or menu link? Sharp. Should we create a menu or menu link? Good. So structure, I'll go to menus, and in the main navigation, for example, I need to have a link for contact. So add link to be contact us, and the link should be / contact, and save. Now if I go back to site, and okay, it has now the contact us section, and if I click on it, this form appears. So if I type something like this and send, so an email will be sent to the person, to the owner of the site,
Yes, sir.
that I need information about this and this and this. So upon saving this form, you will get the email. So you can even customize it also, just like we customize other forms. So if you go to structure, where it is contact forms, and this is the feedback form. If I edit it, and you can see the recipients, for example, the owner of the site is afat@drupal.com. So whosoever fills this contact us form, email will come to this person.
Yes.
Even the subject, the redirect auto reply, even you can get this: thank you so much for contacting us, we will get back to you soon. So this is an auto reply which the user will get, and so on. But if those two fields were not enough, you can create extra fields just like any entity. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
And if this is not enough, okay, okay, so you can even have admin 2 at gmail.com, admin3 at gmail.com. So you can even specify multiple
Recipients.
recipients. Let us check this also, what this provides us. Okay, so if this is not enough, you can create extra contact form also. Add a contact form. Maybe some conference is coming and you need some extra fields for that conference, so you can create extra contact forms also.
Yes.
Let us have a break and we'll continue afterwards. Okay, welcome after the break. So we'll continue with many different topics in this session. If I go to the structure, so most of these we have already studied. Now even the media types, so you can have multiple media types as well, which you can then refer in as a field in entities. Now let's move on to configuration. So a lot of these by the way, what are these configurations? Even if we are creating some content type or something like this, so as I said yesterday, and let me explain this a bit, we already have studied content entities, right, which are nodes,
Yes.
user,
Taxonomy.
taxonomy,
Files,
media, comments, and all of such. Even extra modules can add extra content entities. But then there are config entities also.
Yes.
Config entities and objects, basically they kind of are the same, but entities are a bit advanced. So if I go to Drush, and maybe if we can quickly create if I open the site, indeed, open folder, this one. Okay, here I want to create a folder and I will call it config at the root of the directory, this one, config. So we will export all of our configurations to this directory, so that I can basically go through some of the files so that you know what config entities are. But before this, the default location for configuration export in Drupal is, if you go to web, sites, default, and settings.php, this is where majority of the settings for Drupal are: sites, default, settings.php, and at the end maybe I just can Control F, config. So this is a setting which by default is commented out, because the normal, rather, if I issue this command ddef config dash export, ddef config dash export, config dash export, I missed the Drush part. So you can see what the message is: configuration successfully exported to sites, default, files, and sync. So sync is a directory inside the files, style default file sync. So this is the default location of configurations which are exported, but we can change it in settings.php to anything else also. So we will make it, this is the config folder now we have created. Okay, so if I reissue the command, because it is advised normally to have the config folder outside the root, so if I do it again, so it means the message is it has been exported to this directory. And hopefully if I go to now that directory we created, this is that directory where all the configurations have been exported. And if you open it, so it has a lot of these files which was empty previously. Okay, let me give you an example what configuration is. So if you go to configuration, this is the configuration. So the active configurations are inside the Drupal database. There is a table config directory table where all the configurations reside. So if I go to basic site setting, this is the basic site setting. Okay, the site name is this Drush site install. So the active configuration is all of this is here in the form of forms where you can configure stuff. So right now the configurations is in database, but maybe if I want the same configurations to be exported for my backup or to be exported to another Drupal site, so this configuration management is very important, this folder. So I can import these configs in other site and they will have the same functionality then. So if I go to system dot this is system.site.yml, so you can see the name is, this is a config file. If you remember from Symfony, we also were setting something in Symfony config files.
Yes, sir.
So this is the same concept, but in Symfony they are inside the folder, in Drupal they are inside the database. But when you need to change to export or import them, then these files are important. So this is that setting name. So these all are basically, this is now config object, but the most for example, if I go to some view, this is a view. So this is now a configuration entity. So configuration entity basically is something like this. For now you just need to take it as this config files. They are exported, when exported from the database they are in the form of config files and they can be imported into. So if I for example now change the system dot, where this is system dot site. So if I change it to Drupal class 2 for example, yeah, Drupal ddcp 23 Drupal training. The site name is what? ddcp Drupal training. So for example I have changed it. Now I want to import this setting, and even the email address I will change it to my email address, for example this, so that this configuration has been updated. And if I import it now, ddef drush config dash import. Okay, so what will it show me? System.site has been changed. It means the copy which is in the database is different now from the one which is being imported. So if we import, if I just type yes, so this configuration is now part of the Drupal database. It has been imported. So what do you expect here if I refresh the page?
Site name should be changed.
Good. You can see ddcp 23 and even the email address has been changed. So whatever clicks we make, for example, if I create a new content type, if I create a blog type, these are just types, not the actual data, right? If I create a view, if I create anything else in these configuration screens, we are actually creating configuration objects or configuration entities. And if you export them, they are exported in the form of YML files like these. Okay, so let me give you an example. We created the student student content type, right? So any guesses where it will be in here? It will be inside a node.
Yes, sir.
And it is node.type article page and student. This is
Yes,
the
sir.
file for node.type.student.yml, this one. Okay, so node.type.student.yml, it has all these values from the configuration we had made. So this is the type, but if we want to associate fields with it, so for fields there are two things: field.storage.node something, it will be field.storage.node.background image color. All of these are every field has these So for example, if I check the field father name, so it has all these settings.
Yes.
Setting max length, module, entity type it is node, field name is this, id is this, and so on.
Yes, sir.
So whatever you do, basically they are in the form of, so for example, just for example, I create a new field now in the student content type, and here I will add new field, for example, interests, formatted text, interests, right, this, and continue. So whatever we are doing right now, what are we doing? We are creating
Creating
a
an
configuration
object.
entity or object, whatever,
Yes.
and behind the scene it will be saved in the database, but
Yes,
if
sir.
you export it, it will be in the form of a
YML.
YML file.
Yes.
So we have created an extra field. Now if I can config export, ddev config
Drush.
dash config dash export, okay, just export. So it will even tell you all the changes to the files already in the code base. So what are those? Create means these are the new ones. So it has created the store, it will create a new file field storage node field interest, and these are the display related, manage display and form display, you know now.
Yes, sir.
Even if you have to hide something in the form or the formatter settings or whatever, so they are saved in core.entity underscore form display dot node dot student.
Yes, sir.
And similarly the entity view, you should know these names now. Okay, so entity view display settings, they are also changed because new field is being added. So I will just click on yes. Okay, so these have been exported, and if I go, these files will now be in the code base. So for example, in another site, if they are imported, what do you think will be there?
What's
If the same files are now imported in another site, for example, if I give it to a friend to import these settings, so what they will be there in a new Drupal site, for example, there will be a new content type student with these fields.
Yes, sir. Exactly.
He will not have created any fields himself, but just by importing these configuration files,
Yes, sir.
they all the functionality which so far is in our site, that will be inside that also.
Yes, sir.
Got it? But one thing, before doing this, you need to remove the UUIDs. So all configuration entities in Drupal have these UUID fields. So first you will have to remove these so that another system can import them. Otherwise you will get error that this belongs to some other system.
Yes, sir.
So that's how in large applications in Drupal, for example, if 10 developers are working on a system, right? For example, if Afaq has created a content type testimonial, okay, and all the field settings and everything is ready, he will export the configs, and just those configs will be imported by the other developer, and the testimonial functionality will be inside the new site without doing that himself.
Yes.
Got it? This is normally called configuration management in Drupal, and configuration entities. So that's the difference between the two, config entities and content entities. Okay, the next topic we should go to, as I said before the class, what is difference between displaying an image, which huge image on the site, which is the sizes of which are controlled by CSS, versus the original image which comes from the server of that particular size. So we should not be displaying huge size images on the page and control them via CSS, because that's not the best approach for optimizing images on the site. So what you will do is, you will, in your server side language like PHP, you will have to change or create thumbnails so that the original images. So I will give you an example. Maybe if you can download some high res image, high res scenery, image, mountains, something like this. So if I open it, maybe if you can open it in the browser, so you can see this is a very huge sort of image, up to 2 MB. Do you agree?
Yes.
So if I change it in the CSS on the page, I will make it maybe even 100 cross 100 or 50 cross 50, but actually the download size of the image will be of this size, and this is not the proper way to change image sizes through CSS. So what we will do is we will do it via the server side language we are using, maybe PHP or whatever. So in Drupal, and if you go to any tutorial on creating thumbnails on PHP, in PHP there's a lot of logic and concepts, but Drupal has made it very easy. So what we can do is we'll go to structure, configuration, media, and image styles. Image styles, if somebody asks you what are image styles, so you can say image styles are basically creating thumbnails in PHP in Drupal. So by default, if you have installed Drupal, there are these 5-6 types of thumbnails, but we can create new ones also. So for example, if I will create it. Normally my style is I create a style name with the size, so underscore in the name. For example, it is 800 cross 560. So this is the name of the style, and this is the machine name. Machine name means internally Drupal knows it by this, and this will be visible to the users. So create a new style. Now you can add effects here: crop, desaturate, resize, scale, and so on. So I will for now choose resize, and the size is 800 cross 560. So what this will do is, and even it gives you the sample here.
Yes.
So if you, this is the source image, and so this will be the size of the image it creates, and even this is coming from the server. It is not shortened, it has not been shortened or resized through CSS. So this image style has been created, right? Now we can reuse it anywhere the image field is used. We can choose the size of it through this. So for example, if I now right now create an article, testing image, that image we will upload now. Okay,
Yes.
the one I downloaded, this one, and save. So if I open it in new tab, with the setting is, yes, it is still small, but maybe if I go to structure, content types, manage fields, and in the image, where will it go? Manage display for the image,
Yes, sir.
this. So here it is showing image, and the second setting is image style.
Yes, sir.
So I will change it to original image. This will show you that the original image is very large. So if we check it now, so open in new tab, this one, and you can see this is the original image which was uploaded. But now I want to display the article images in the image style we have created.
Yes.
So again we will move go to where,
Manage display.
manage display of
Yes, sir.
article, and here structure, content types, article, manage display, and here in the image from original source we will use,
Yes, sir. 2000.
where it is,
Style 80 by 560.
this is that.
Yes, sir.
So as I said, if you create an image style, throughout the site they will be available for you, and I will just update it and save. Now any article which is submitted, if an image is uploaded with it, the size will be open in new tab, and that's the original size now,
Yes.
not shortened by CSS, and available as this is. Is this clear?
Yes.
So by normally you allow the file upload to be of any size, because these days high res images are there, but you create similar image styles. Maybe if you need something smaller, you can go for that as well, and then throughout the site you can reuse them.
Yes.
Okay. There is one more thing which is needed, and that is date. Control F. Date and time formats. Okay. So by default we have these dates and times. How many of you have used PHP date function? Because you have studied the
Yes.
PHP course before this. So this is basically PHP date function. You can call it. So if I go to PHP date, there is a table where it is. Okay, if I want to create something like this, a date format of this style, what I will do, I will use m.d.y.
Yes.
What?
M.D.
So for example, this is the standard style for Drupal date. We can name it anything. Okay.
Yes.
And again, as you are seeing, these are configuration entities or config objects which are being created behind the scenes. If we config export, it will have its own entry. Okay, so here it is going to be m.d.y,
D.Y.
m.d.y, m.d.y. Okay, even it shows you here that how the date should look, right?
Yes, sir.
And save. So the date format for Drupal date is this, and it has been saved.
Yes, sir.
Now we can reuse, just like image styles, we can reuse it wherever the image field has been used. Right now image, not the date field. So where we have used the date field, if you remember, in the date of birth of the student. So if I go to any of the student right now, this one, so the date of birth is in this format, Saturday, this and time.
Yes, sir.
But if I now go to, how can I change it? Where will I have to go?
Manage display
Of
student.
student, because this is student content type.
Yes, sir.
So we'll go to the student content type and manage display, and we will come to the this is DOB field.
Yes, sir.
So here I will change it to
Setting.
custom. We can directly set it here, but we will choose custom, and here date form. Okay, let us go back. Where was it? DOB default is this okay, here the Drupal date is now available,
Yes, sir.
right? And update. By the way, you can directly also, but that will not be reusable. So here, for example, if I go for custom, so you can do something like this here as well, but then on each field you will have to redo it. But if you choose the custom, so here you can have the predefined dates which are there in the update. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Save. So if we go to some student now, and the date is in Drupal format. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, coming to URL aliases. Yesterday we studied a bit of it.
Yes, sir.
From where can we add URL aliases?
From
Hmm?
Menu.
for
We
the
ca-
for the menu also.
Yeah, for example, if I am going to add a basic page, test basic page, and here the URL alias setting is.
Yes, sir.
Why do we need URL aliases normally?
For friendly URLs.
For friendly URLs. So here we'll use maybe test dash basic dash page. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So it will now be from the URL. It will be accessible through this URL.
Yes.
Clear? This is very basic stuff, and save. So in the URL you can see test dash basic dash page. What do you think? Where will it be available?
What, sir?
This setting. Now it has been saved, right? We can access it from test dash basic dash page. So if you come to the configuration and URL aliases, this one, now it will have the second entry also, which is test
Yes.
dash basic dash page, and what's is actual URL is node/61. So you can easily create even aliases here, but from there the form
Yes, sir.
for node pages you can create them directly also.
Yes.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, another scenario, and I will go to, for example, structure, or maybe article. So add article, and here we have the tags. If you remember, cancer.
Yes, sir.
Okay, cancer, this and that. So if I want to create an article on cancer in Asia, right, and this is the whatever, what do you think should be the URL of this article normally?
Sir,
In-
node slash something.
Node slash
ID.
this ID, cancer in, but there should be this tag also in the URL. Normally this is the it's a custom in websites that the URL should be /cancer, so that we can know in which category it is, and then the title. So the title is cancer in dash in dash
Asia.
Asia. Even people in blogs create year also, like 2025 /.
Yes, sir.
So from the URL you know that this article was created in
2025.
2025. Maybe if you can just some tech blogs, you know, maybe if we can check something like this. This is an article. Where are the tags? Recent posts.
2025, sir.
Where it is?
Back at the top. Title.
And this is just title, maybe something else. Netflix tech blog. So let me quickly okay, you get the point. Normally in URLs you will see the year also, the category also, and anything like this. So for example, if I save it, so what the URL will be? Cancer / this 225 and cancer in Asia,
Yes.
right? So this is how you set up your
Aliases.
URL aliases pertaining to the field you have chosen. For example, if it is cancer, so it should be cancer. But do you think this is the right way? Should it not be automatic?
So it should be automatic, yes.
Yeah, so that we don't have to set these ourselves, right? For that there is a module, and that is known as PATHAUTO. PATHAUTO Drupal. Even if you just type PATHAUTO in Google, you will end up on the first link you will get will be, because this is such a popular module, and I don't know if there is a site without PATHAUTO in Drupal. So we will download it. And one thing also, there is also a module token Drupal, which is very famous and it's also very handy, and we will also download this. Maybe if it is not the requirement for PATHAUTO, so we can do it both of them. So composer require token, def brush en token, and similarly we will download PATHAUTO. This is PATHAUTO. Detail brush en PATHAUTO. Okay, so both the modules have been enabled, and if I go to mostly such modules are configured from the configuration screen. So if you go to configuration and now if we go to the same link URL aliases, there is a link for what? Patterns. Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
So if I click on the patterns, and again, as I said yesterday, each module has its own target area. Like it will not be announcing itself once you install it. I have been installed, but it will be in its relevant area, and the relevant area for patterns should be the URL aliases link, which already was there.
Yes, sir.
So now we can add patterns, and for pattern for which entity, again you can know now Drupal reads all the metadata inside your configurations to read about entities. So these 4 entities are where the PATHAUTO has support currently. So what we will choose?
Content.
For article I want a pattern,
Yes, sir.
so it will be content.
Content is
And which content type?
article.
Article. Here this is the going to be the pattern. Okay, so as I said, we needed tokens also. This is the token module, browse available tokens.
Yes.
Token module is used for this. So I will click on it and it will show me this. So now you know what nodes are. So if I go to the nodes has a lot of fields. One of them is tags. This is the tags field node.
Yes, sir.
Tags, right? If I click on it, automatically it will switch to the
Yes, sir.
pattern. So what do you think it should be if I add a new article?
So
Whatever the article tag value is,
Yes,
so
sir.
this corresponds to that value, and slash, then as I said, the year. So the current date, custom current date, maybe
Drupal state.
Drupal date, it's dot. So there normally is not a dot into. Maybe we can create a custom date with dashes, but here I will just use a current custom date, and here maybe we can use y, something like the y is for year, right?
Yes, sir.
And then slash title. So what should be the token for title? In the nodes section we can have title also. Where is title? This is a title node.
Yes, sir.
Title. So the path is, this is tag value,
Yes, sir.
this is date. If it is not working, you will fix it, and then the node title.
Yes.
Clear? And it is for which content type? Article.
Article.
And the label should be article pattern. So it has been set up. Now let us try if it is working fine. I will add an article. The title is something great has been invented in malaria, and this is the body, and I will choose malaria for example, this, and save. Okay, can you see the URL? Maybe I need to zoom it. How to? Okay, so it's malaria slash 2025. I'll paste it in the editor so that you know. This is it. Malaria is the first one, then the year, and then something great has been invented in malaria. So this is a URL friendly, search engine friendly URL,
Yes, sir.
and automated also. Now if we add another one, add article, maybe it is about cancer, something about cancer, and I just choose cancer. And save. So what do you think will be the URL?
Cancer.
Cancer to 2025 and something dash about dash cancer.
Yes.
Is this clear?
Yes.
So that's how we have automated the URL aliases also. And this token module is very handy. It is used in a lot of other modules, and we will see over the course of this course where its uses will be. Okay, one thing I forgot to mention, and that is if I'm on a page, like this is a page, right? So the actual content of the page lies where? In the content region of a theme normally. This section, if I go to appearance, rather if I go to block layout and demonstrate block regions, so the content, this is the content region, here is the main assets of the page. The actual page content lies here in the content region, and these are all the assistive regions. So this concept should be clear in your mind. If I go to any page, for example this page, so all of this substance of the page is inside the content region. Why am I telling you this? Because for example this theme has been set up with these sidebars to the right. So if I remove these blocks, remove, and similarly if I remove this block, so this page has now extra space to the right because of no blocks to the right.
Yes.
The content region is a bit bigger. If the layout here in the, we will use it, see it once we are creating themes, but if the support for the region is so in the code that if there is no block in it, remove the region, so then this content region will stretch to the right. Got it? But if there is a block, then it will be shrinked again, because the content region will be in the center of these two regions. So now this takes us to, and again the power of view modes will be in display here, but you can see if I go to any of the students data now, this is students, so department, father name, date of birth, address, and something like this, domicile, and social media profiles. And maybe we can add one more field to students for images also. So as students has images, so if I go to here, we will create a new field. Rather, we can reuse an existing field also, but I will create a new one. That is going to be media. Where is this? This. Continue. Picture. Student picture. And I will just refer the image for now and save. So now we have an extra field. All the records from student will have no image right now because it has been added now.
Yes, sir.
So we can go back to the generate content for Devel, and we will choose student, and here there is an option, I think, delete existing user, somewhere it is, here it is. So it will generate new content and delete the existing one.
Yes, sir.
So the existing ones will have then an image also, dummy image. So if I go to content, now the new content for student has been added, and if I click on it, it will have an image also, probably somewhere. This is that image, and if I click on this, there is this image. Different images have been but used, so that is student's image. So, but now my main aim is I need to show the image to the right here, not at the bottom of the screen. Maybe some 3-column layout or 2-column layout, something like this. But as I said, it will appear inside this content region, not the whole site, because the bulk of the page is inside the content region. But at least we want to show the image to the right and the rest of these things to the left and so on. So let us rearrange these. For this, Drupal has a very powerful module in core which is called layout builder. This one. So layout builder and layout discovery, I will enable both. So both the modules have been enabled. So the layout builder has been enabled. Now I want to change the display of the student, right?
Yes.
So where will I have to go? Content type, and then
manage display.
Manage display of the student.
Entity.
Manage display. So before before enabling the layout builder, there was not this option, layout options.
Yes, sir.
But now there is. So layout option is use layout builder. What layout builder will do is it will allow us to and I will check this one is also allow each content item to have its own layout customized. So I will choose both of them. So use layout builder, it means the student layout content type wants to use the layout builder, and also I want each student to have a configurable customized layout also. That's all I also want. So I will save it. So once saved, here this manage layout button appears. I click on it and we are in this interface now. Okay, so if I click on this configure option, to the right, this is the default, this is known as a section. So content can be put into different sections. To the right, this is the title, this is the field settings actually. I will remove it now and configure section. So the section name is, maybe I can call it main content update, and okay, in each section this is a section. So at the top I am going to add, this is the default one, I am going to add a section and I call it, I can choose the layout. So which one now? Maybe 2 columns. Okay, the column widths are 67 and 33. It means the main one will be 67 and the second one will be 33%. And I will call it main section or main content. Main section. Yes, main section is fine.
Content dividers.
Main section. Okay. 8 section. Okay, now this is that section, main section, it has 2 add blocks. So these are those blocks, just like the layout library blocks. We can add blocks here as well directly. Okay,
Yes.
but we can even move fields to it. So for example, the image field at the bottom right now, it is this one. So I can drag it and move it to where should I move it to?
The right side.
To the this block here, right?
Yes.
So it's now inside the right side. So the picture will appear as this. And if I click on it, configure, so this is individual setting for the picture. And as I said, this is such a powerful system that all the settings of manage field display will appear here also.
Yes, sir.
So I don't want the label to be here, so it will be hidden. Picture will be removed from it, and even the formatter settings, I want it to be rendered entity. That's it. View mode and update, because this is MIDI actually, so that it has rendered entity and the view mode concept also. Right now on the right, I maybe where should I? Okay, so let me move the department to the right side also, father name to the left side, date of birth also to the left side, and maybe I don't want to show display for now, so I will remove this block. I can remove this block, right? Interests after the these are the interests, and I will remove these 2 fields from here. Remove, and similarly remove this one. Okay, so what we have done, we have rearranged the fields. We created the layout, the section with the layout, 2 columns. So the image is on the right with the department, and similarly here all of these things, right?
Yes.
And if you remember, we had created an admission open block also.
Yes.
So you can add literally anything here which is available to you in Drupal. So if I click on add block, so here all of such things are available. So if you search for admission open, these are content fields, means the entity fields, content type fields. And this is Devel block, forms and list view,
On the top, yes.
and on the top here is admissions open.
Yes.
So I can add this field, add block. So you can see quickly it becomes available. So this is what we have achieved, and we will save it. Save layout.
Yes.
So what we have done, we for the on the manage display, we announced that we want to use the layout builder, and we want to manage the layout. And how should the layout be? It should be like this. It's clear?
Yes, sir.
And I will now go to we saved it as well. So if I go to content now and student, if I click on student, what do you expect?
The text should be at the left side and the image should
Yeah,
be at
yeah.
the right side.
But so that's how it is. But why is it in this area, not the whole page?
It
Because
is inside the content.
exactly that's a very key concept, the content entity. So if you are the themer yourself and you don't want to have a sidebar with your content entity, so what you can do is on the page you just remove the markup for the regions, and this will be stretched to the whole screen. Is this clear? So you can have this. Okay, somebody comes in and he or she says, I don't like this layout for myself, so I need to change it. Okay, so what they can do is if you remember, let me go back to this content types, student manage display, and here we check this one also, allow each content item to have its layout customized. What does this mean?
This is
On each node or entity page, I want to rearrange again all this if I want to.
Yes, sir.
So I will go to this, right? So here For example, I want to move the image to the left and the father name to the right. So what I will do, I will go back to the layout. Now this is not per content type, this is per content.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I will move this to this and father name to the right, like this, and save it. This is note 113, by the way, save. So it's like this now. And if I go to any other node, maybe this one, it is on the right side still,
Yes, sir.
and but this one is changed. Got it?
Yes, sir.
So what do you conclude from this? That, for example, you can change design per page, as well as you can have a per content type default design system also.
Yes,
So all the new ones will appear in this style,
yes, sir.
but if somebody wants to change, he can easily move it. What can we do with this? For example, there are profile pages, and a user wants to change his profile page, so he can do something like this, so that his profile has different things in differently placed than the rest of the site. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now there is a need. For example, your client has asked you that while adding a student like this, I need to have a field here with directly. I don't want to go to the layout and then change things. I need a drop down here, image left, content right, image right, content left, while adding content.
Yes,
Right? So if this is the requirement, how will we do it? You know it a bit now.
Structure of content type of student.
Yeah, yes. So if I go to structure, content types,
Add field.
manage fields. So what we can do?
Add field.
Add field. But how will that logic take effect? Field won't do anything itself. What I mean?
We'll use if else.
Yes. So we need to code basically something, and that is not something we want to do now, because this is the site building course. By the way, in Drupal this is called site building because we are not getting into code yet. So to the maximum we will do something like this, so that code is not needed. So you already know the concepts, but let me just redo them for you. So what we will do is we will create view modes again.
Modes for that. Yes, sir.
So display modes, view modes, and for the content, this is for nodes, right? I will create two view modes. One is image left, content
Right.
right, something like this, and I want it for the student. Image left, content right, and the next one will be add view mode for content. Okay, image right, content left, and you can have hundreds of such view modes for a content type, and save. Clear? So we have added these two view modes, but view modes don't do anything at all unless you configure them. So now where can we configure these view modes?
Manage field.
Manage
Field.
field also, but the display, how will we control the
Yes, sir.
display?
Manage display.
Manage display. Now if you go to the content types, student, manage display, there will be two tabs for, these are those, image left and image right.
Yes, sir.
So just like the default setting we did, we can have, now you will be getting what I want to achieve. So on each view mode setting, there will now be this option. This is the power of Drupal. Look how it is doing things for you. So image left and image right, we are now on the image left view mode. So here we will use the layout builder, save, right, and manage layout. So the image is on the left, right. I will add a section, and here I will make two column. Image is on the left, right. So this 33 and 67, and add section. Just to demo, I will move the image to the, I think if we can quickly, this move. Okay, so this is the easiest way to move it to some top, and the section is going to be the one we created. So section 1 first, maybe this one is it. Move. So if you go to this, it has been moved to the section, right? So you can quickly do something like this. This is the writer, this is father name, and you can do that from there also. Maybe this is the information I need for now, just for the demo. You can move all of the content according to. So I will remove the other ones. Or maybe I want to leave the interest behind the two, below the two columns, right? So that's all, and I will save the layout. So the setting for image left and content right has been done. Now image right, content left, and again we'll redo the same and manage layout. So here what we will do is we will add a section and two column, and it will be 6733 and add 8 section. And similarly, let us go to the image, move from here. I will move the image to this second and move, so it is in its right place, and I will move other ones manually, maybe this, and I will leave the address. Maybe I will remove the address, remove. So this design is pretty much ready, and I will save it. Alright, so we have done the setting for both view modes. But now if I want to add content and student, there has to be a way so that I can choose these view modes. And do you remember how we did it in our first lecture? At the last
add field and
it was a view. We have installed a view mode switch module.
Yes, sir.
And it lets us create a field type of switching. So we will go to the content types, manage fields, and we will create a field type of view mode switch. This comes with the view mode switch module, if you remember. Continue, and we will display style, or you can name it anything, display style, because you are doing it for the client, so it should be a meaningful name. Continue. Okay, view modes to switch. So right now we are in the full content,
yes, sir.
so we'll need to switch to this and this,
Yes, sir.
right? And save. Okay, if I go to any other student, maybe this one, if I click on it, and this is by default on left, right?
Yes.
On the right, because this is the default setting it is taking. So if I change it to image on the left, content on the right, and save. So image is on the left and content on the right.
Yes, sir.
And similarly, if I change it back, or if I need to create a new student, so Jamal, and department is this, father name is this, date of birth is this, address is this, domicile is yes, interests, and picture, let me upload some picture. This one is his picture. So if I choose left, it will be
Yes.
left, this. But if I change it to right, so it's now on the right side.
Yes, sir.
Clear? So you can imagine you have the power in your hands to do a lot of stuff without writing even a single line of code, and this all is possible because of the very complex and powerful robust data structure in Drupal. So let us recap what we did. We created two view modes for this functionality in the content section left and right, and then the next thing is you will go to that particular content types manage display, and here you will set up the use layout builder for this one as well as for this one, and then you created the field in the content type which is the switcher field, view mode switch, and it helped us achieve this. Clear?
Yes.
Okay, one last thing and then we will wrap it up. If we go to configuration and text formats and editors, so you can see by default there are 4 such types, and we can add more such types also. We'll stick with the default one. So if I go back to the text formats, this is the basic HTML one, and if I configure it, it is right now in use. It can be used for the roles authenticated users and administrator users. But for now, let me change it to just the teacher and administrator and save. So if I go to the site and if I go to maybe add article, so you can see this is the basic HTML text format. By the way, what are these buttons? So if you Google CK editor, this is CK editor. It's a library used by many platforms, and it has been around for a long time now. So by default, Drupal core uses CK editor for its text area settings, and that's what we are right now using. So it can be used by the administrators like basic HTML, and we have made it available for teacher also. And I think Afaq is, if you go to people, Afaq is a teacher also. So if I log in with Afaq, and he also goes to article, so here he can see the buttons related to basic editor, and he cannot choose between any other because he only has been assigned this setting. So if I go back to admin, and if I want to add some extra buttons to this editor, so I will go to configurations, text formats, basic HTML, and maybe this is a table button setting. So I'll drag it to the active toolbar. This one is the available buttons and which you can use in the active toolbar. So we have added one extra button to the basic HTML format, and I will save it. Now if you go to add article, so you can see table also, so we can insert tables just like Word document. And even you can go to the source to delete it or change the content. And one good thing about it is if you go to lorem ipsum and generate some lorem ipsum, copy it and paste it. So this is your text area where we have added this, and here I want to upload an image. That's what I want to add only to the admins, so that text can be added to image can be added to the text inside the text area. For this, right now we don't have any option for image probably, or we do have, but it will just so let us do it. I will upload an image, maybe this one, and it has been uploaded inside the text area. I will cut it and paste it inside this text. Okay, and this is very huge, 4747 pixels. So what we can do is add some alt text and save. So this text basically is inside the text, and you can align it to right and left and so on. We can also include, if you go to the text area for full HTML. Full HTML is for administrators only, so that they have full control of the elements they can add to the text area and CK editor through CK editor. So if I go to configure, and there is a button Drupal media. So by default it is disabled like this, but if you drag it to the active toolbar, so it becomes available for Drupal media for the administrator. And then there is one more setting to do, and if we click on media, this is the check we want to check. Its enable filter should be enable embed media. For example, if I make this setting, uncheck it and save it, so it will prompt me for this error: the Drupal media toolbar item requires the embed media filter to be enabled. So this needs to be enabled all the time if you need this Drupal media, and save. Okay, media types selectable in the media. Maybe we want just image and document, and save. Okay, we have saved the HTML format, and if I go to a new article, test with media, if I choose, if I paste that text again, sorry, not the image but text, copy it, and here I want to embed another image, but you can see right now I don't have any media toolbar because I am using the basic one. If I switch to full HTML, you can see now we have this button. If I click on it, and I can upload, and even I can get the one we already have uploaded. So here the image will be inserted, and it will be inside the body text, so I can move it somewhere inside the text, and then you can have these settings. So I want the text to be on the right and the image to be on the left, and all of this should be inside the text, in the body text. So if I save it, maybe we need to delete this field because it has been teasing us a lot, the color field. So you can see now image is on the left and text is on the right. So if you need something like this, so that your images or your media is inside the text, in the body text, you can use CK editor. Okay, one last thing. If for example we want very restricted access to buttons for our users, so we can create a custom one also. If you go to text formats and editors, I will create a text format, and I will make something like very basic, and it will be for teacher and students, and text editor is this. Okay, I just want maybe even not the headings but just bold and italic, so the active toolbar will be bold and italic tabs only, and save. So the very basic, and it should be available for teacher and student, and administrator by default will be also able to access it because administrators have all the privileges. Now I want to make it available. If I log in with student, and let me check who student is. Afaq is also student and teacher, and let me go back and change the basic HTML because teacher can use that also. So let me remove this and save. Okay, I want teachers to use just very basic one. So if we log in with Arc now, and go to node/add/article, so you can see he only is allowed to add the bold and italic tabs, nothing else. That's how you can customize the editor settings for different roles in Drupal. So we studied a lot of things in this lecture, and hopefully see you next time with even further concepts in Drupal site building. Thank you.